Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. My name is Doug. It's Metalworks Machine Shop, and this is my 1980 IH built Cub Cadet 582. It's one of the last ones that IH built before Cub Cadet Corp. MTD bought it, and they went from there. So anyways, been messing around all summer, babying the clutch in this because this is shaft driven. Finally, I ordered the clutch today just because I think it's crazy what they cost but it is what it is. It needs it. You can't get this stuff from the dealer anymore. There are a couple Cub Cadet places that'll, on eBay, little, or some of the forums, Cub forums, they make them. So, yeah. So now I'll bring you in here. I'll show you. I got to get the drive shaft out, take the clutch out, and put the new clutch disc in. It came in the mail today. I ordered it Friday, and really, it was, well, honestly, it was $29. I guess that wasn't too bad. I guess. I imagine from an IH dealer, it'd probably be $100. But it came in a padded envelope, wrapped in this cardboard, all wrapped in tape, and I mean it's pretty nice. I mean, this is, I have clutches, pads made or replaced at work on some of the presses for the brakes, and this stuff not too bad. You can see the ceramic in it. So hopefully this one lasts me 10 years, because that one lasted me about 8, and it was new old stock from IH. So honestly, I don't know how old it was. I do remember it was not this hard, but we'll see. We'll find out. But I've been letting it go so long. I know it's metal in there. It's got it all crushed. All right, what you're looking at is the clutch. Here's the flywheel to the engine. Here is the clutch mount that's bolted to the crank, and then the clutch should be, you probably can't see back in behind, but there's another plate about this diameter right here behind this one. This is just a floating driver. It should have, like they call them, there should be a set of springs on each one of these. There's 3 of these pins around this shaft that basically holds the clutch in alignment. And then there's usually some springs on it to keep vibration down, making noise. But those are long gone. They don't last very long anyways. I mean, I put them on there 8 years ago, but they don't last. They didn't last from the factory. It was just something to make rattle noise to get people to take their tractor back in for service or buy another one, because there is a little bit of rattle to it, so you usually have to sit there with your foot on the clutch pedal just a little. But anyways, yeah, there should be a clutch disc in there somewhere, and it's plumb gone. So, and I think this plate here is ruined. This one's probably ruined because I've waited so long. Just been using up whatever little bit of clutch pad was left in there. So I'm probably going to have to make this piece, which is no big deal. I've made them before for other people. And I've also made them for the hydrostats. So, well, I'll get in there Let me back you up just a little bit. I'll step on the brake clutch here. See, now I got it fully compressed. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. But I didn't check it, but right in here, if it's not, hopefully it's not broke. It's a teaser spring. That's what keeps just enough, barely enough pressure on the clutch to keep it from really rattling like that. So that teaser spring, when you let on the clutch, just keeps enough pressure on well, if the clutch plate was in there, it would be back there. All it's going to do is pull back and ride the clutch plate, and then let off the brake pedal and engages the clutch to put pressure on it. And that teaser spring is supposed to just keep this from making a bunch of noise and driving you nuts. So I can't let out on the brake pedal far enough for it to engage anymore. It just slips until it gets hot, and then it gets sticky. So basically got to take it apart. I need to pull this screw out, this bolt right here out. That's for the clutch, the pivot, and there's a bearing in there. And got to take the bolts out of this rag joint, and yeah, you can hear that. That's what it would sound like. That's basically what it sounds like all the time when it's running. And see, I can spin it right now. I should be spinning the engine right now, and I can. So I don't know if you can see that or not. And so I can spin it by hand. I mean, it's tight. It is. There's a piece of clutch. How thin that is. Right there. It's barely an eighth inch thick. So I lost half the clutch when it got hot. Probably 2/3. Yeah, I lost 2/3 of it. So, like I said, get that bolt out. Get this rag joint apart. Get the drive shaft pulled out. Okay, so I got the clutch out. That was a pain in the butt. I had to take the deck off, the undercarriage that holds the deck, which I had to anyways. I got to put my snow blade on. And then I remembered why I have been putting it off. Because I got to take the motor loose and pull it forward to pull these out of their bushings on each side. So, yeah. So that sucked. But anyway, now what I'm going to show you is what a lot of people get hurt doing. This clutch spring is under a butt ton of pressure. Enough that would hurt a kid messing with it, because pullers put heavier springs in them. There's different pounds, that it's actually, once it's installed, that this spring is pushing this clutch into the disc. So I'm going to show you how to get this off. I'm going to use my lathe to do it, but I have made brackets before. Piece of C-channel across the bottom, and then piece up, and then you basically put this thing in it, in order, and then a piece of pipe. It's weird. I mean, you can figure it out once you see me do it on the lathe, on how I'm going to do it. You'll understand why it's so simple, or something simple to build. But I basically got to put pressure on the spring here to compress it more, and then while I knock out pins over here so I can get it off, and then I'll just take my tailstock and loosen it up, and then the spring will come apart. I don't remember which way. It's probably got, probably wore out. Probably need to change them anyways. They are just spring pins, and they've been in there, well, about 10 years. I'll probably just leave that on there. Okay, I told you wrong. We're changing the spring when you gotta basically push on it, and then you pull this pin, and then pull both pins really, and then it'll release. That way you can change your bearing, but that bearing's fine. It doesn't really do much. The bearing basically rides on these two shiny marks right there. That way, when it's spinning, it gives something to spin to whenever you step on the clutch while it stops. So it doesn't, so it's not spinning all the time. It just spins only when you push on the pedal to stop the machine. Well, that clutch plate is garbage. The whole disc is gone from this side. These plates are pretty ate up. I might just try to turn them, put a new surface on them. They're plenty thick enough still. So I think that's probably what I'll do first, try that. Because I really don't feel like making them. Alright, so I'm going to put these in the lathe, turn these down, make these nice and shiny again. Just to give that new disc something to wear into on, because the way these plates are right now, wouldn't last long at all. Then if I need to change the teaser spring that's inside here, I'd need to pull this apart. So I'd basically leave that on like that, and then I push that up against the clutch. Put that in there. See? Yeah. Now I can knock that pin out right there so I could get to the teaser spring, which I probably ought to check it. You know, as I move the tailstock. See, I'm pushing on the spring, and now I can knock that pin out, and then when I release it, it would just release pressure off of the spring. Yeah, the pin's showing some flat spots on it, so I'll put new pins in it. Now, all I gotta do well, I have to loosen the chuck so the shaft will slide out. Right now the chuck is holding it. So I'm loose there, unlock it, and I should have ran more of the tailstock out. Still pushing on it though. Yep. So that's how much of that spring. I mean, it's not much, but it's enough that it would hurt if that come apart on you. But here's the, like the bushing, and then the teaser spring, and it's not broken. Usually these break like next day sometimes. It hasn't broke yet. Impressive. Yep, I'm going to call that one gooder enough. Here we are, ready to go back together. I did grease the bearing, the bearing housing, and greased the teaser spring, got that back on, and now I'm ready to crank the tailstock into the chuck. I got the chuck just barely sitting on that lip of that housing for that teaser spring. I know it's somewhat hard to see, but see the first pinhole right there. We got to travel all the way to that one. So the spring's pretty well crushed right now. And I do it between the jaws. And wherever my punch went. That should be in there. Just enough to hold it. And now tighten down on the shaft a little bit. Or you could take it out. I mean, it's all the way through. Just need to kind of center it up. Like so. Now that's on. And now you got to do this magical trick. It shouldn't take much because it's just the teaser spring. It's just trying to hold this damn thing in here somewhat level. tailstock back up in here. We'll close those jaws a little bit more, but still loose. Because I need to crush that in to get that next pin in. You saw that pin move forward as I pushed the shaft in. Okay, getting it close. I got it wiggled down in there, put back on the engine. So it's on, and then I had to get this bracket here back on and get that lined up. And then the shaft, I had to get inside of that, on the other side of that rag joint where there's a bushing. Inside of there, the shaft just basically sets inside of that, and then the rag joint will control the vibration. Yeah, see, this is, okay, I'm barely started into that bushing now. Like so. Now that's probably too much, but the holes are slotted down there for the drive shaft, or for the engine. So. That's the high range. There's the low range. Hasn't been running on those gears all for a few years, so it's real quiet. So I know I did a little damage to the gears by letting it run low. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, did this video just for people that have the Cub Cadets. There's a lot of young kids. That drive shaft can be pretty dangerous taking apart, getting those springs off or the pins out. So you need compression on them to hold them till you can pull pins, and then you slowly release the pressure off of the spring. You know, hit that subscribe, give me a thumbs up, you know. It does help my channel grow. I'm about 3 years old. My channel's about 3 years old. I'm getting there. About have 1,000, like a little over, it's around 900 right now. I know I don't have a lot of content, or good content, I don't know. But I'm gonna try and crank some videos out. I keep saying that, but life happens, and that's how it is. So, hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe if you would. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one.